Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where India and Pakistan unite. Let's get into it. India and Pakistan are very unique nations, just to say. And if this was realistic, here's what would happen immediately. Pakistan would break away and the video would end. Which is not going to happen, for obvious reasons. Yeah. And, well, Kashmir, we don't talk about that. But let's just get into it. So the first thing that's going to happen is an invasion, because this is a channel of war scenarios. So this country is going to be declaring war on Sri Lanka and annexing the country fully. Then they're going to go after Bangladesh, which is a harder opponent because they are the most densely populated country in the world with 170 million people. But this thing has billions of people, and, well, it will take a couple years, but eventually the northern parts of Bangladesh will fall, and eventually the whole country falls. And we can look at the very simple peace treaty. And that very simple peace treaty is literally just full annexation. Yeah. And this is what it looks like so far. Also, Nepal and Bhutan will decide to join up with this union thing. And, well, this union has been expanding pretty quickly. Very quickly. No, it's been expanding a lot very quickly. As it's already annexed Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. But where does it go next? It can't go after China. Why would I mention that? It could go after Afghanistan or Myanmar, but who does it choose? It chooses Afghanistan to go after because Afghanistan is something and they want to occupy it, being the first ever in existence to ever occupy this region. So this country thing would be sending its full force towards Afghanistan, knowing that this thing has a lot of harsh terrain. And, well, they would be destroying Afghanistan, finally defeating the Taliban once and for all. Yes, they would be going ahead and taking the capital over here and forcing Afghanistan to surrender. And we can look at the also very simple peace treaty as well. Yeah, I can just do these peace treaties here because it's very simple to do them with this new world map. And that's the peace treaty. And, well, this is going to warrant some sort of alliance thing against them. Oh my. Iran and China form a coalition against this thing. Yeah. So we'll be declaring war on Myanmar. Slash Burma. As the Indian, Pakistan, and other troops will be going ahead and invading Myanmar. They will quickly be able to go ahead and take a lot of the coastline of the country. And eventually, China's going to decide to join this war. Yeah. As China will be swarming into Myanmar in order to stop what's going on there. And that's also kind of like that's the great things that are happening in this country here right now in real life. That's sort of what India and China are both saying on the justification of invading Myanmar. And very quickly, the Indo-Chinese thing will be able to force Myanmar into surrendering. And we can look at the peace treaty. Oh wait, forgot these isles. These isles are Indian? I know that's for a fact. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one is as well. Yeah, it is. Let's look at the peace treaty now. In this peace treaty, as Myanmar is divided, do say something about the channel real quick. Just skip ahead if you want. And I'm going to be gone for a while. This video, I'm recording it on the 10th of October, 2025. And when is this coming out? It is coming out on October 20th, 2025. And this is the final video I have to record before recording the next episode of Alternate History of the World on the 21st. Yeah, just saying. Time to go to Tajikistan. Yeah, as the Indians will be declaring war on them. And this is a pretty harsh country to travel through, but they already traveled through Afghanistan, so, well, they will be able to quickly go ahead and defeat them pretty easily. No, not easily, but not the hardest, but also easy-ish at the same time. Yeah. Those borders look pretty weird. So this tiny piece is going to be sold. No. Yeah. Not like that tiny border, but like this. because India is going to decide to sell this land over to Uzbekistan. Yeah. And partial, one, because that border looks weird with India, and two, it'll just make it look better. Basically the same thing. Yeah. Now, where do they go now? Now they're going to go ahead and gain some allies, like Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan, and this tiny piece, and also Kazakhstan. Yeah. One disadvantage of this map is, randomly, if I have a color selected, like blue for example, I could accidentally do this. And well, everything's blue now. And if I do, like I could just, but it's kind of cool because I could just delete the entire borders of the world if I wanted to. Which I'm not going to do. Yeah. Where do they go now, the Indians? They're actually going to be going after Oman in the UAE for some reason. And how is this going to work? Well, they're just going to mainly focus on northern parts as they land in the northern parts of Oman. And then they will continue their invasion. And Dubai is pretty hard to invade, but more countries are going to join this war on the side of the UAE and Oman. Yeah. And so basically all these Middle Eastern nations are here. And now they will be pushing back India, as India is, they say that India doesn't belong here and it kind of doesn't belong in the Middle East, but who cares? As eventually they will be able to push back and take Qatar. As well, this happens as India will continue to take land, and they will eventually make an agreement that, hey, maybe we should just take some small bits of land. And we can look at the peace treaty. And it's the peace treaty, as India only takes this tiny little piece of land. And India is going to make more allies, specifically with the United States. It's a pretty big ally. You definitely want them as your ally. Yeah. But India is going to be invading Thailand next, because Thailand's mainly for this area here. Yeah. So the main bulk of their troops will be being sent over into here, as they will quickly be going down into this area and are able to take this whole bay. And also they will be declaring war on Malaysia in order to take the remainder of the Strait of Malacca. Yeah. Well, Thailand is the rest of it's just gonna be invaded, as the Indians will quickly be able to go up and take the northern part, and eventually they will go down and take the coastline of Thailand. Yeah. As they eventually go ahead, and Laos is gonna join the war against Thailand. As they will be invading, and we can look at the peace treaty as Thailand surrenders. And this is the division of Thailand. And well, what will the Indians do next? Well, time for it to happen. As India is going to decide, you know what? Let's invade Iran. As well, India starts invading Iran for no reason. And this goes very successfully, as their allies in Central Asia will be helping as well. And they knew China would get involved, so they just invaded them first. So they will be going ahead and invading into the Myanmar areas of China and attempt to invade through these mountainous regions, mainly around Tibet. As these nations will be pushing over in here and quickly trying to knock out China. Oh wait, that's impossible. But what can happen is Iran getting knocked out, as the main bulk of Central Asian nations' military is over in Iran, as the Indians also will be having a large part of the military in Iran. Mainly, most of their military is in China, but a pretty big chunk is in Iran, as it would be going ahead and taking the Persian Gulf coastlines of Iran. Yeah. As well, we could see that they would just be taking a lot of land, and eventually Iraq joins the war in order to get some land from Iran, as they will be invading, and this is not so good for Iran. Despite the harsh mountainous terrains, eventually Iran is going to be forced into surrendering. But let's see what happens in China. China will be fully pushing back India in the Myanmarian area, and will be pushing back and taking parts of Bangladesh, which is very bad because Bangladesh is very populated. People equals money, and well, people equals military and money, so just you need people. military money, bunch of stuff, yeah. But the Central Asian nations are doing very well in the Xinjiang area, I think this is called, like, this area, I think is it Xinjiang, it's something like that? Something with a Q. Yeah. As they will be going ahead and fully capturing this area, China doesn't really care about it too much. But then they start to worry as Tibet rebels away from China. And it's a pretty big rebellion, actually. And it looks something like this. And next rebellions are over here in Manchuria. And these ones are closer to the capital. And also, more rebellions in southern China, as people are done with the Chinese Communist government. And with this happening, Indian forces are able to fully occupy the west of, Myanmar. As China is going to decide, you know what, we're just going to keep going as the rebellions push in on China. And eventually, Beijing is captured and China surrenders, and we can look at the peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty. Iran is divided between Iraq, India, and Turkmenistan, and China is divided as well. And that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed today's scenario where India and Pakistan united. See you in the next video, and bye.